But in reality, you're thinking about him all day and waiting for him to call or text. You set your bar so high for yourself so that when someone comes into your life, you're not going to settle for less. So how to really decenter men, and this video is not going to be me bashing men in any way. I just want to give you a different perspective in life so that men aren't controlling every aspect of your life or influencing you in any way, like how you do your nails, your hair, your makeup, maybe your clothing, or the hobbies that you do. This is going to be a guide so that we can make us the center and start focusing on things that actually matter in life, like focusing on how to find ourselves, creating better bonds with our family, building new relationships with friends, exploring life, and finding new hobbies. This video is going to help you understand that a relationship is not the key to happiness. And all the advice that I give in this video is going to be purely from experience that I've had and things I've learned from other women in my life. And I have a list of things that I'm going to be talking about in this video, like why is being single a bad thing, my view on 50-50 relationships, women's right, and a little bit about the 4B movement. And I'm going to give you some reasons why I decided to decenter men in my life and the importance of it and some benefits from it. So I don't know if you ever heard of this phrase before or ever heard of this saying. My mom used to say it to me all the time: the world does not revolve around you. And in this situation, it should. You are the center of your life, and you should be the center of your life. You should be dressing the way that you want, styling your clothes the way you want, doing your hair and nails the way that you want. You should be your only competition and continuing to be the best version of yourself every single day. Once you realize there's so much out there in life to experience and learn before you have a man into your life, it's going to change you for the best, trust me. When I say decenter men, that doesn't mean avoid them at all costs, but they shouldn't be influencing every single thing that you do. I want to get married one day, but chasing a man and making him the center of my life is going to impact me in a negative way. I would literally have to change my whole entire personality just to be approved by a man. Like, there was literally points in my life where I was dressing for a man and I wanted to look modest but also not too boring for the man gaze. Like, yuck. And do hobbies you love. Don't get influenced by anyone. I love to read, and I've been told by a few men reading is lame. And if I was told that back in my middle school days, I wouldn't be reading. Like, it wouldn't be a hobby for me. And at the end of the day, men make them their priority, so why is it a bad thing when women want to make us the priority? And honestly, it's not a bad thing. It's the low-valued men and the pick-me's that are telling women it's a bad thing to decenter men. They try to convince you to make it seem like you're selfish for loving yourself. And men have standards. They actually have high standards. You don't see a man typically dating a woman that's ugly or is overweight just because she has a good personality. But you definitely see a lot of beautiful women dating men that's not in their league. And I feel like we see it so often because men make women feel like it's a bad thing to have standards or high standards, even though they definitely have high standards. And men also have strong boundaries. As soon as you don't serve them anymore, they're going to leave. So it's not a bad thing to prioritize yourself and decenter men out of your life and make you the priority. Also, never let a guy stop you from doing what you want in life. That could be college, trade school, social media. And I say social media because I had an ex that used to get so mad at me because I wanted to take pictures and I wanted to make content on YouTube. So I stopped doing it just for him, even though that's something I really wanted to do in life. But he claimed that I was doing it because I wanted to get validation. He always used to say I was doing it for attention for other men, but it was something that I loved to do. It wasn't for anybody except myself. But that was obviously his insecurities projecting onto me. So like I said, don't let any guy stop you from doing what you love. And also, don't move in with them or move states away just to be with them. If they want to be with you, they will make it their priority to keep you around. And if that means them moving, then they would do that. But enough about men right now. Let's get into a little bit about the 4B movement and women's rights. So the 4B movement is a feminist movement. It said it was started in South Korea, that was created by women that was tired of getting treated like shit from men. The 4B stands for no dating men, no marrying men, not having children, and not having sex with men. And that's what the 4B stand for. Korea does have the lowest lowest birth rate in the world. But if it is true and the women there are in the 4B movement, I understand why. So let me take you back in time and break down some women's rights history. So to make sure I get all my facts right, I have it written down on my notes. I'm going to have like a timeline, and I'm going to start with the date. 1960 is the year women had the right to open a bank account on their own, meaning they were allowed to have a bank account without a man being present. And if you think about that, most of your grandparents were born in that year. They would be 64 years old right now. In 1973, in all 50 states, women could serve on a jury. Anyone born in that year would be 51 years old today. In 1974, the Equal Credit Opportunity Act was passed, which said you were not allowed to discriminate against genders issuing lines of credit. If anyone was born in that year, they would be 50 years old right now. In 1980, women could legally report harassment in the workplace. If anyone was born that year, they would be 44 years old right now. Until 1993, women were not allowed to deny sex from their husbands. If they were born in that year, they would be 31 years old right now. In 1993, again, women were finally allowed to wear pants on the Senate floor. So like regular trouser pants. In 2018, yes, 2018, women in all 50 states were allowed to breastfeed in public. Anyone was born in that year, they would be 6 years old. Notice how I added the age every time I said a date, because I want you to realize how close in time all of these laws passed. Still to this day, women are not equal to men in the Constitution. To this day. Isn't that mind-blowing? The women before us fought so hard for the rights that we have now. It's crazy to think that women were not allowed to go in the stores without a man present. They weren't allowed to have their own bank account. They couldn't have their own land or property. Women were only looked at as property for men. And it's sad to say that some countries are still like this. I could literally make a whole separate video about women's rights history, and comment down below. I might be interested in making a video like that. And the whole purpose of adding the women's right history into the video is to show you how hard women fought for the rights that we have now and the amazing opportunities that we have now. So stop allowing society to teach you how to center your whole entire life around a man, and especially a man that doesn't deserve you. And this gets me into the next topic, my view on the 50-50 relationship. I think the 50-50 relationship is a scam. I think it's a scam. But that's depending on if you're in a healthy 50-50 relationship or a unhealthy 50-50 relationship. There's a difference, but I'm only going to be talking about the unhealthy 50-50 relationship. I've been in a 50-50 relationship, and I can tell you right now, it was not a 50-50 relationship. I've known other women in my life that have experienced a 50-50 relationship, and it was not a 50-50 relationship. I feel like the 50-50 relationship was made by low-valued men and bare minimum men. And I'm going to tell you why. The 50-50 relationship only benefits them. Men in their masculine energy and men that were raised by great fathers understand that women are the prize and that they should be protected and cared for. Low-valued men don't understand that. Anyone that's in a healthy relationship or in a marriage understand that relationships aren't 50-50. They're 100 and 100. Both parties are supposed to be putting 100% of their effort in a relationship. And we know as soon as one person isn't doing their part in the relationship, the other person has to come and pick up their slack. Now, obviously, if your partner is sick, they're not going to be there 100% of the time. And that's definitely understandable. But I'm not talking about those times. I think men should be 100% providers and protectors, because women are 100% nurturers, chefs, or housekeepers. They support their partner emotionally, so like a therapist. Women bring life into this world, so mothers and wives, and women are there for them sexually. So if a woman's doing all of that and is playing her part, doing 100%, why would she settle for someone that's doing 50%? As a woman, when you decide to do 50-50, you're risking more. You're technically working 3 to 5 jobs, because you'll be the main person cleaning, so being a housekeeper. You'll be the main person cooking, so being a chef. You'll be supporting him, so being a therapist. And you'll be engaged with him sexually, so you already know what that is. And if you aren't married, at that point, you're technically his roommate. But to sum all of this up, wealthy people pay for those jobs to get done. And you were doing it for the expense of what? Love? A man should be an addition to your life, not a subtraction. Because like I said before, men have strong boundaries and high standards. They're not going to date an ugly female, a broke female, or a female that's overweight just for love. So it's not a crime to want a successful man that's also emotionally intelligent, that is able to 100% provide for you and protect. Low valued men and pick-me girls are going to bash women and call them gold diggers because they want a successful man. And they tell you to pick better men so that you don't end up with broke baby daddies that can't help you. Because what woman in their right mind would purposely go pick a broke man that can't support her? Because if they eventually have a kid, she will be left alone to raise that kid on her own. But then women are called gold diggers for wanting a successful man. Like, how dare us women want a successful man that is emotionally stable? And it doesn't sit right with me when a man is okay with letting their wives or their pregnant girlfriend go to work because they don't want to provide for her so that she's able to stay home. And some people might say, well, there's inflation, the prices are going up. I definitely agree. But are you going to keep complaining about the prices? Or are you going to learn new skills and learn new trades so that you can provide more money? All I'm trying to say is that rich people don't complain about inflation. They just make more money. Real men love to see their women fully in their feminine energy. They love to provide. It's so easy for women to be submissive when they feel safe and they feel secure in the relationship. Little lighting change because I had to take my dogs outside. It got dark. But we back at it. So why is it bad to be single? I can think of a few reasons, and one of my reasons is it's a scare tactic from low valued men to scare women to settling for men like them. Like, have you ever heard these phrases, find a man before you get too old, or find a man before you become a cat lady? I feel like some insecure men know it's a choice for women to be with men, and men like to argue, well, it's the same with men wanting to marry women because women can't choose who marries them or who asked them for marriage. And I totally agree, we can't choose, but I would rather be single than married to a low valued man or a bare minimum man for the rest of my life. Like, people make it seem like it's so bad to be single, but realistically, think about your past relationships. Remember why you two broke up in the first place. Remember all those times that you were making excuses for their actions so that your family would actually like them. Remember how they treated you. Remember how they did you wrong. And if you've never been in a relationship or you've never experienced a bad relationship, just think about the times that your friends came to you to talk to you, or your family members that came and talked to you about their relationship. After you remember all of that, remember that it's better to be single now than be back with them. There's so many good reasons to be single. You're free to be yourself. You're free to find yourself. You can heal properly. You can learn yourself. Learn how to love yourself properly. Build relationships with your friends. Build better bonds with your family members. Making decisions without taking anyone in consideration. Peace of mind. You can still take yourself on dates and take yourself out. You can still buy yourself flowers. You can learn self-love and learn how to actually care for yourself so that one day a man can come in and do the same exact thing for you. And you've already done the hard part. You set your bar so high for yourself so that when someone comes into your life, you're not going to settle for less. And for the girlies that had great fathers in their life or older big brothers, you already had this bar set high, so you already know how to get treated. And don't feel like you're behind because you haven't found someone yet. You might feel like the high school sweethearts are lucky, but if you actually think about it, they've never been able to be single. They've never got to experience alone time. They will be with that person for the rest of their life in the perfect scenario. The person that you want to marry in the future, you will have them for the rest of your life. So enjoy yourself now. Now, after all of those topics, we can finally get into the steps of decentering men. The first thing you need to realize is decentering men is a daily practice. You're not going to be able to do it overnight. Don't let people's opinion influence what you believe in. You will be called a gold digger, too bougie, too hard to get, but who cares? They're just mad because you're secure within yourself and you don't need a man to be in your life. You choose to have a man in your life. And if you have people like that that don't support what you believe in, get rid of them. They are not your friends. Another big way to decenter men is step away from relationships for about 6 months to a year. Detox yourself from men in general, like entertaining them, texting them back. You might not be dating them, but even responding back to DMs, talking to men when you go out, like, All of the above. Cutting off those friends that always have boy drama, or the friends that center themselves around men. And have you ever noticed those friends that go MIA when they're dating someone and they only call you when they're either broken up or they have drama in their relationship? Yeah, cut them off. You don't need the stress or the headache, and you're not a free therapist. Healing your relationship attachment style. As soon as I found out that I had anxious attachment style, I researched it, realized my traits, and I fixed it. And it honestly changed my life and changed how I started dating. And if you've never heard of anxious attachment style, the feelings I had or the traits I had, I was basically afraid of abandonment. I was looking for a relationship to save me or for me to save them. I thought a relationship would make me whole. These were terrible traits to have, and it made me have toxic relationships. By the way, there's 4 different attachment styles, and one of them are secure. If you're not secure, heal from your attachment style. Reflect on your past relationships, see what went wrong, and see where you could fix the problems you caused. First step to healing in general is taking accountability. You will never be able to heal if you can't take accountability for your actions and mistakes so that you can be able to fix it. Find hobbies that you love that exclude men. So don't make plans or find hobbies that you can't enjoy because you need to be in a relationship, or they're couple things so you can't do them. Make yourself so busy so that you're not focusing on a man 24/7. Like, for example, I'm gonna ignore him all day. But in reality, you're thinking about him all day and waiting for him to call or text. You're looking to see if he posted on his social media, and then you're stalking his friends page to see if they're on their social media. Like, are you really ignoring him all day? No, you're not. If you were busy, you wouldn't have enough time or energy for that. And please, cut out FaceTiming men or your boyfriend all day. Like, is this really all of your day consists of? Is that all you're worth? We are not kids anymore. We are trying to be our dream self. And my future self is so successful and so put together, she doesn't have time to be FaceTiming a guy all day. And finally, with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed my video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!
Smooth, you almost stepped on my shoes. All white kid got me walking on the moon like
Looks like you lost another one.
Bitch move, you almost stepped on my all white kid got me walking on the